instead of her complaining, how can she effectively communicate and get the results she wants and make him happy at the same time?
Yeah, it's like an amazing solution I have. I mean, it's taken me years to develop this. I live it. I help people do it. It's taking the point I just made and taking a step further. Most of a woman's discontent comes from suppressed emotions. Okay? She's suppressing her emotions. She's on her male side all day long. That suppresses her female side. We even have research showing that when a man comes home from work, his stress levels drop significantly. When a woman comes home from work, hers don't. She's bringing the stress. It doesn't lower her stress just to stop working. She's carrying that stress with her. That stress is the stress of suppressing her female side. So what now the female side, the only way it can come forth is to express its discontent, because that's what it was feeling in various degrees during the day. But she's not at work, and she can't express her discontent, her frustration, her disappointments, her concerns, her feelings of inadequacy, her feelings of embarrassment. There's no room for that. That's called vulnerability. You cannot be vulnerable in the workplace. Sorry. So you come home, and for women, that's their female side. So it's got to come up. And because it's stressed, all it sees is what's wrong. Okay, so this is what the brain does. A man or a woman, it's just women experience higher stress levels, cortisol, the hormone cortisol. Women experience this high cortisol when they come home. Cortisol its job is to have you look at what's wrong. See, when you don't have cortisol, your job is to enjoy what's good. Look at what's good in my life. Isn't this great? I got a house. It's a little messy, but I love my house. So women become hyper picky. They become hypercritical. They become hyper overwhelmed. They become hyper stressed. And then what happens is, to the extent she is that, because she doesn't know how to process those feelings, he will mirror that, because he's going to see my wife is not happy with me. His stress levels start to increase. His estrogen levels will start to go up. His mirror cells will mimic what she's feeling. So she will complain about something. He will now complain back, or he will stuff it. And when he stuffs it, he's now further on his female side. He's mulling it over, his complaints about her, why she's saying that, she's being a bitch, all that stuff is going on inside of him. So what happens is now he's less willing to give to her. So he's going to be more messy. So it's a problem that starts with one sock and turns into a whole messy room. So, clearly the complaint is legitimate. If a woman says, my husband, he leaves a mess everywhere, whatever, I don't know what to do about it. The first step is to be happy. Now, this is my basic principle, but we use it with this practice. First step is stop trying to change him to be happy. Hey, certainly if the room is clean, you're going to be happier. Okay, that's one source of happiness, is a clean living room. But there's other there's other sources of happiness called inside you. So you got to find that. You're looking too much to your environment for your happiness, blaming him now, and you're caught in a trap. You're in the monkey brain, no way, no escape, unless you realize, am I a monkey, or am I a grown woman with love and generosity and forgiveness and sexiness? I'll put that in there. That's a great thing. And self-reliance. Okay, so she has to go, okay, I'm into my bitchy side. I'm in my negative side. And yes, I would love this room to be here. It only feels fine. It only feels fair. All that's good. Nobody complains. But having that, approaching him with those attitudes will not work. It just won't work. It will only make it worse. It'll make you feel worse too, because you're trying to move a boulder up a mountain and it just keeps falling down. Moving it up and it falls down. Moving it up and it falls down. You're expecting him and the living room or the mess to make you happy when you're not happy. So your first step is stop trying to change anything about your partner. I guarantee you, you will get more if you do this. Stop complaining. Stop criticizing. Stop nagging. Stop asking for anything for a while. That's step one. Step two, now take more time to do things to make you happy. Okay, if it doesn't make you happy to clean up after him, don't. But what you need to do is go somewhere, do something to increase your estrogen. That's social bonding, increase your progesterone. That's taking me time, social time, me time. Do some pair bonding if you're doing the 5-day window. You can go and talk to a doctor. You can go and get the help of somebody. Go take a class, read a book, learn something. There's so many ways to be happy other than looking at the mess in the living room and going, this house is a mess and it's all because of him. It's attachment. You're caught up in this one place of happiness. So step one, let go of trying to change him. Anytime you try to change a man from a place of discontent, he will only resist. Okay, that's every man. That's just the reality. And you know what? If I try to change my wife from a place of discontent, she will become more upset. I tell her, look, you just bummed out my day. Now I'm all pissed off. Now she's going to be more upset at me. That's not going to make her feel better. So if you try to change your partner from a place of discontent, it will not work. So accept that, get that. That's using this part of the brain. We keep doing the same things that don't work. Second step. Now, but you're not happy. You're in a place of discontent. So do something to make you happy that's not dependent on him. Remember, 10% is him, 90% is you. So do something to make you happy. Now you're happy. Then what you do when you're happy, you still don't ask him to change. You give him what he wants. What does he want? What more can you give him? Because when you're in a place of happiness, where does your happiness come from? Giving. Everybody knows that, it's when you have the fullness where you can give unconditionally. Oh my God, you feel so much better. That's why women love giving to children. It's unconditional love. You feel like a super person. You feel like an angel or something. So when you're feeling happy, go and give him more of what he wants. Now, he doesn't want you to clean up after him. And you don't have to do that. That's what you don't want to do. But what does he need most? That's where you have to understand. And I do this in my women only course. How do you change a man? This is step 3. Understand what he needs. So the essence of that, men need to feel appreciated, accepted for their flaws, and they need to feel trusted that though they're not perfect, they love you and they're there for you. And that's always where they're coming from. And so that's hard for women. Oh, he should be perfect. If he's not perfect, I don't trust him. Oh, he made that mistake. Now I got to change him. He's sloppy. I can't rest without that. No, he needs to feel accepted the way he is, trusted that he's there for you to the best of his ability. And what he does do for you, you need to focus on and appreciate it. And you will be able to appreciate what he does for you. If you're already happy, you realize, oh my God, there's all these things. I don't have to live alone in a house. That's a big one. He's working hard to contribute to the finances. That's a big one. And if you learn to use a man to listen to your feelings, to take you on dates, ask what you want, find out what he can give you, and then appreciate that. Now you're giving him what he wants. He doesn't want you to go around cleaning up after him if you're going to resent him. He doesn't mind you cleaning up after him, but if you're going to resent it, forget it. I'd rather you be a happy woman. That's the greatest gift you can give to a man. Be a happy woman and give him lots of love. That's step 3. The living room is still a mess. Step 4 is now you start asking him to help you clean it up. That's all. And because you're coming from not only being happy, but giving him more, then you ask for help. And you keep asking for help in small increments and be delighted and appreciate that help. Because if you're delighted and appreciating his help, what are you giving him? Just what he needs. He needs to feel appreciated. And I have a whole chapter in a new book where all women think is, I'm not appreciated. I'm not appreciated. No, yeah, you're not appreciated. But guess who needs appreciation more than you? Him. Anytime you're thinking, I'm not appreciated, are you appreciating him? No. You put him he's a loser. He's not appreciating me at all. So you're not appreciating him. Why do men need appreciation more than women? Because, first of all, men are lousy at giving appreciation. Women are great at it. That's one of the reasons we love you. Because when you appreciate someone for what they do, for what they provide for you, if I appreciate you, your testosterone goes up. So who needs testosterone more? Men. We've been talking about the whole time. We need 10 to 30 times more to feel appreciated for what we do. Men, when they don't feel appreciated, they crash. If you're not winning, if you're not succeeding in your man, your testosterone crash. Women go, what happened to the husband? Well, he doesn't feel appreciated. And so then he becomes passive, and then there's nothing for you to appreciate. I get it. I get it. So what you have to do, come back, detach from trying to change him, do something to make you happy, give him what he needs, which is more acceptance and trust that he'll come through this, and then ask for his help on some little task. And then you have something he did, you can appreciate. It's easy. You get the snowball going. Then you ask for a little more help and a little more help. And, maybe 50 years later, the guy becomes really a good house cleaner. But keep in mind, you didn't marry him because he's a house cleaner. There's a lot of guys out there that will clean your house. What other qualities does he have other than a house cleaner? I mean, put it in perspective. And that's a good insight. It's just putting everything back in perspective allows us to open our hearts. You know, I don't really do any couples counseling anymore. I stopped about 6 months ago with this new book, and I got 5 other books coming out of me, so I don't have time. But I'm living in Marin County, and my rates are pretty high, and so I get high-end people, and women will come in and they're like, "Oh my God, I'm so stressed out." Well, tell me about it. I'm a good listener, and that's my thing. And I've got 3 nannies, and we're going to Europe, and I got to pack, and I still have to buy these new dresses, and one of my kids is sick. I mean, is this really something to be that upset about? I mean, are you really like feeling terrible because of this? Now, having said that, we have to sort of stand back and say it's absurd that I'm getting upset over these things, but it's also real. And that she needs to be heard for her frustrations, her disappointments, and her concerns, big or little. The way you lower a woman's stress is to hear her frustrations, disappointments, concerns, feelings of embarrassment. What is it she wants to hear? And then what is she's wanting more of in her life? What does she wish, how she wishes things could be? And then what she appreciates, what she's grateful for. It's like she has to sort of skim off the foam and then get to the real juice of the good feelings. And this is called the Venus talk. And this is the other thing women can do to bond with their partners. When they come home, they just say, "Look, I just want to tell you about my day. You don't have to fix anything, solve anything. Just hear me. Speak for about 8 minutes, 2 minutes then of how good things are in your life. Go in for the hug. Go into another room. You will get plenty of oxytocin." He'll stand there and go, "I don't know what just happened. I did nothing, and she felt better. I like this job." And that's pure pair bonding in the most powerful way. And over time, she will feel safer and safer. She'll get in touch with more and more of her deeper feelings. But you start with simply sharing what you're able to share. But in my experience of 40 years counseling, women do not go deep in their feelings. They might with other women, but not with men. They'll say, "Oh, well, he won't understand." And you're right. But learning how to communicate so man will understand is a new challenge. So there's a whole class on that, my weekend seminar for women only, but also my new book will cover that quite extensively. The book you've read, which is Why Mars and Venus Collide, which is, I think 15 years after Men Are From Mars, that was the update based on hormones. And now we got a new one based on all this women's cycle stuff, and then men's cycle. Men have testosterone cycles too. And so learning about all that is very, very important.